What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back. And in this next video, what we gotta do, we gotta find these two multinomial coefficients. So starting with number one here. Now, before getting into these, just in general, if you see something like n, choose, let's call this k1, we'll have k2, all the way to kr, however many values are here. And remember that in order for this to be in the proper format, all of these here, k1 plus k2, the sum of them, all the way to kr, has to equal n. And notice that that's happening here. 4 plus 2 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 is 6. So whenever you have something in this format, it's basically going to be n factorial over all of these respective factorials. So that's what we're going to be applying. We're going to be applying this to both of these over here. So starting with number one, what's going to happen here is we would end up having 8 factorial over 4 factorial times 2 factorial times 2 factorial, like that. And so let's pretend we don't have a calculator in solving these. So the 8 factorial we can rewrite as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial all over 4 factorial. And notice the 4 factorials will cancel out. And then the 2 factorials, it's just 2 times 1, so they're both just 2. So these cancel out. Notice 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times, like that. And now from here, you can just multiply the remaining numbers. So we would end up with what? 4 times 7 times 3 times 5 would give us 420. And so that ends up being the answer to number one over here. Now, actually, let me just double check here. Yeah, it's 420. Now, this one here would be what? 6 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial times 0 factorial, which is just 1, and then 1 factorial is just 1 as well. Let me actually just write it so it's in that proper format. Both of these here, both of these values, they're both just going to be 1. So it's really just 6 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial. 6 factorial we could rewrite as 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 factorial. So we could cancel out that 3 factorial there. The 2 factorial, as we did up here, we can just write as 2 because it's just 2 times 1. The 3 factorials cancel out. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Times 4 gives us 60. And so that ends up being the answer to that multinomial coefficient.